boxing moment. Henry is not a pugilist. I'm sure you're not used to the arena, you're used to talking. Henry, what does boxing mean to you?
Well, boxing, I started liking boxing when I was very young. I think Muhammad Ali introduced me to boxing.
Really? Ali, Cassius Clay.
Yes.
Okay? In what way?
I remember the fight between Muhammad Ali and Leon Spinks in September 1st in February 1978. I was a very small boy, and my dad was a keen boxing enthusiast, and he also liked wrestling. Not this kind of wrestling you see these days. The British kind of wrestling, which was so very technical. Then you had boxing, and there was no internet, like you want to show this on YouTube today, where everybody can see it live all over the world. Then it was just black and white television, and you will always have delayed broadcast anyway. We didn't have the privilege of seeing live boxing fights. We only hear the results maybe a day or two after. But that does not dampen our interest in following boxing. Muhammad Ali made boxing very exciting. A fistic trade, which is very dangerous by itself. Somebody glamorizing it and making it look so easy. And so, but there was a shocker when Leon Spinks defeated him. And everybody was surprised because Leon Spinks, came from the light heavyweight. And nobody was expecting that upset. So my dad was so downcast. As a graduate of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, who read political science, he was very down, and he kept saying it. We were young, we didn't understand. Say, how can a small boy beat Muhammad Ali, who did so well 4 years before in Zaire, then Congo, against George Foreman. So from then, we all had emotional attachment to Muhammad Ali, and by the time he came back in September that same year, I can still remember, and he won against Leon Spinks. I remember them saying that it was the first time a heavyweight boxer, got back his title for the very third time. He came back, third time champion. So the thing was, it was just like a beginning. And from there on, among other things, it kindled my interest in following not just boxing, but sports generally. And many years later, when he would retire, and we started seeing fights in other categories, in the Fabulous Four, where you had the welterweights, Sugary Leonard, Roberto Duran, all those, fights. And later on, we started having fights in Nigeria. We had Davis Inande, who then they used to call the Wonder Boy. Then we had the fight between Obisi Awampa and Somambe in 1981 at this same national stadium. I think Obisi Awampa was so close to becoming the Commonwealth super lightweight champion. He was beaten by a guy called Somambe. So the interest in boxing, I started reading papers. My dad would buy newspapers, I'll read, and I was putting those information in my head. We also had a boxer called Fatai Amao. I'm now talking of, you had Isaac Ikworia, who was a trainer to Davis Inande. We had a lot of great boxers coming through the ranks as at that time. So, Yeah. I got it. It was 1981. Somambi Obisha Wampa. He lost at the National Stadium here. And so I remember.
That's the vice president Nigerian boxing.
Oh, okay.
Our father.
It's a pleasure, sir, to meet you. So, me and Akiri, he just reminded me now, kind of corroborated what I was saying. These things were not on the internet then. I had it in my head, and he just confirmed it. I didn't remember the month, but I knew it was 1981, and he corroborated it by saying December 1981. And Obisha Wampa, everybody was rooting for him. Wampa, everybody was rooting for him. He had gone abroad on extensive training and all of that. Everybody wanted him to win that title. But Somambi, I think it's from Trinidad and Tobago, one of those countries, he came and he won on points, at the National Stadium. And it's one event I can never forget.
Well, let's indeed take a look at what boxing was like in the 70s and the 80s to what boxing is like in Nigeria today. Some say some of the biggest challenges boxing has been facing has been, not so many promoters coming into boxing, putting their money where their mouth is. They say one way or the other it has also affected, Nigerian boxers, the development of the Nigerian boxers. I recall in the late 90s, 2000, we had the likes of Francis Ayebeni. Ibadan was also another joyful place to indeed watch some great, boxing bouts. Boxing back then, where boxing is today, challenges, and what the future holds.
Well, to be very candid with you, boxing, even at the amateur level, boxing put Nigeria on the world map. I remember Koyegwachi. Yes, in boxing, we got our medal in Los Angeles Olympics 1984. In fact, everybody said Koyegwachi was robbed. Peter Koyegwachi was robbed in that fight. That it should have been gold. And that was the year Carl Lewis became the fastest runner in the world at that time. So boxing was such a big medal winning event for Nigeria at any event. So boxing was on the rise. We were producing champions at different cadres. Lightweight, welterweight, heavyweight. We were producing champions. In Africa, we were dominating. Then suddenly, it went down. Interest one. I would say, promotion-wise, the interest came down because the promoters were feeling they were not properly taken care of. The incentives were not available to recoup whatever monies you spend. You cannot recoup them because of the corruption in the system. Do you understand? So it killed the interest of promoters. But someone like Ayebeni was always trying to keep the flame burning, and in Ibadan seemed a beehive, So yes, the popular D. Rovers Hotel. So you will see action rather than boxing here being the mecca of boxing. It now shifted to Ibadan. People started now going to Ibadan because they were having better, better promoters, and they were getting better money, and they were, well positioned to contest for vacant African titles. So then the infighting, constant infighting in the professional boxing body also greatly affected the growth of professional boxing in Nigeria. So what you had was boxers will leave Nigeria, they go to the Olympics, they don't come back. They stay over, and people like Peter, what's that guy? Sam, was it?
Samuel Peters?
Sam, that lost to Klitschko. Those fighters, after the Olympics, they just stayed, they got better managers, and they stayed abroad. You know. So they stayed over because they saw better facilities, better incentives, you know, and they stayed over. And later, it's their name that make us remember that, oh, this is a Nigerian. Each time they are fighting, you say, oh, this is a Nigerian. Oh, it was the Nigerian contingent to so Olympics or so Commonwealth Games.
Okay.
So for our boxing to regain its pride of place, like what prize fighting is doing now, I am really, really excited by what Prize Fighting TV is doing, because if they can sustain the interest, more boxers, more young ones, younger ones will want to take to boxing, not just football alone, because the attention is always on football. People feel there's more money in football and there's less risk than in boxing. So people want to take to the sports that looks more popular, that gives them more money and all of that. But boxing is a multi-billion-dollar business that, if well organized, sponsors, you know, can help it grow.
But are you surprised that some of the best boxers in the world today, one way or the other, have Nigerian roots? Or, just simply put, they are Nigerians. Take a look at the heavyweight category today, and what you see are Nigerians littered around, pardon me to use the word, you know, littered around across the globe as far as boxing is concerned.
Not just boxing. Nigeria seems to have a knack for, you know, infiltrating all sectors of sports all over the world. We have many Nigerians who have naturalized in athletics in different countries, in Bahrain,